it's a takeover again with an extraordinary gentleman, Daryl Lennox.
Thank you for having me.
How
Exciting. I'm good.
I'm excited
So
for this.
You giggling already?
Yeah.
What's going on?
So introduce yourselves.
My name is Daryl Lennox. I've been a stand-up comedian for 33 years. I love everything about it. Changed my life. I'm trying to change other people's lives. I'm honored to be on this show with my new Libra friend here. We had a deep conversation last night. She got a little teary-eyed. I can't see the tears. I've been blind for almost 2 years now. And it's been inspiring to get to know people and connect like I did. So hopefully we can bring some of that to y'all today.
Yes, we really will. Because after last night, I was like, I wasn't trying to cry. And you was just spot on. And so let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
So tell them what you do first.
Like I said, I've been a comedian for 33 years, and I just dropped my most recent album called Super Bloom. It's doing really well, but still, more ears, more listeners, more love. So check it out, Daryl Lennox, Super Bloom. I really try to have an impact on the world on a lot of different levels, not just through my humor, but through my empathy and trying to understand, how we can all understand each other better. The blindness helps me, because now I can't see you or see your statements. I just feel your energy. And I really think that's what the world has turned into, more energy than matter. And so that's what I'm trying to vibe out on.
And tell them more about your business. On your business cards.
Oh, okay, yes. I started a company called Ellison Reigns Enterprises. So being a comedian for so many years, I really believe that the next phase of the game is going to be bringing those comedy clubs back to life. If you think about all the greatest comedians ever, they started in the clubs. And so the comedy club industry has been so stale and the same for so many years, but I want to try to pump some new life into that. And so I'm acquiring clubs across Canada and here in the U.S., and I want to really regenerate the whole thing. So it's not such a feast or famine industry. You don't have to be as famous as Kevin Hart. You don't have to be as broke as sleeping in your car. So there's a middle ground, and I want to bring that to the light. So I'm going to take over as many clubs as I can. My goal is within 5 years to own the most comedy clubs in the world, and so their comics have a place to stay, to work and make more money than just telling jokes. I want to revolutionize the whole industry with capturing content and helping comics produce specials and write movies, everything. I really want to be the go-to brand in comedy, and it starts with the clubs. Who has the most clubs, has the most comics, has the most talent, has the most content, and so that's my real fire purpose right there. So Ellison Reigns comes from Ralph Ellison, who wrote the book Invisible Man. And the actor Claude Rains, old English actor from the 30s, started a movie called Invisible Man. So I combined the two names, Ellison Reigns, because nobody's going to see this coming. That's where my company came from.
All right,
Yeah.
Let's go. Now, what do you want, besides what you just said, what else is behind the scenes that you're working on at this very moment?
That's not enough?
That's
Taking
not
over the
enough.
industry?
Because look, that's not enough. You have more in you and more, not even just the industry. Do you want to do something outside of the industry as well? Besides the entertainment, books, or do you want to open up businesses outside of being comedians and things to that nature? Or do you want to sign people? What else do you want to do?
Besides revolutionize the comedy industry, I don't know what more there is. I really, want to do that. I have an Oprah impact.
Okay.
Man, Oprah impact, where I'm such a philosophical kind of people come to me for a lot of advice. So I really don't have impact on people, but they don't listen if you don't have anything first. So I start with the comedy and the industry change, everything, and then if that branches out to more inspirational things, then I'm open to that.
Okay. Well, you are last night.
Tell them what happened.
You guys.
You tell them what happened.
Oh my goodness.
Tell them what happened.
When I say he read me, called me out, told me that own it, and excuse my language, boss bitch. I'm a boss bitch. Leader. I said boss bitch, but he says boss.
That's right.
Boss. And own that. Be the leader that you are. Own that. and make sure you have the right people, but they're going to follow you as long as you are leading properly. And we talked about some things in the past that needs to be shut down, done with, and moving forward, not looking at the past, but owning and walking fully in. So, yeah, I took a lot from you yesterday.
Well, I'm glad you did.
And he hit some sensitive spots. That's why I was crying. And, but he was a true gentleman. And you have more than comedian in you. And people do gravitate towards you because your aura, just everything about you.
You trying to get at me? What's going on over here?
And he's funny. What's up? Well, what if I was trying to get at you? Why?
I wouldn't know. I think a lot of it, it's only speaking from experiences, you have to let go of the earth before you can gravitate, right? Mm-hmm. And so we all have our things, right, from what we be taught as children and stuff. You're only born with two fears, right? Mm-hmm. Fear of falling and fear of a loud noise. And the rest of them, we just kind of carry those with us. And so catching your vibe last night, you said you're transitioning. I know you have to let go of a lot in order for you to go forward. But I think it's very important that, almost ceremoniously, you have to let that thing go. So you can, create a cellular memory like, okay, I actually threw that into the garbage. Like, remember the Wait and Exhale when she burnt all this stuff? You literally have to do something like that to let go before you can go forward. Otherwise, you're still defined by your yesterday instead of burning all bridges and being defined by your now and tomorrow. And that's important. That's what I've had to do when I lost all the vision. I was prepared for it, but I knew in getting prepared that I needed to, so I fired my assistant and I had to learn how to live by myself. I had to learn how to do this by myself. And I didn't want to walk with a white cane or a dog because I don't think that's really who I am. And who says you have to do everything everybody else does? Like, who says you have to be the same kind of blind with a stick, with a white cane and a dog? Why can't I redefine what this means to me, since it's me anyway? And I think that's what we're talking about now, right?
Yes. In
life and love and pursuits of greatness.
Yes. Now, how did you come across that cane? Because I love the uniqueness of it.
I was doing a show in Washington State, and then a fellow who I had not met, he said he'd been coming to watch my shows for years, and I had a cane on stage that weekend, and he came to me the last show and said, I love your cane, but this is interesting because I had a birch tree in my backyard and the lightning struck it, and so I carved this stick out of it, and I just had it around, but once I saw you, I figured this is meant for you, so he gave it to me, and so it's very special to me.
Yes, yes it is. Yeah. And do we have it where we can, would you like to show it? Or if not, we'll be respectful about it.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Sure, we'll
because, and it suits you. It goes with the cane. When I saw the cane and you stepping out and walking on stage last night, it does.
So this is it.
This is the cane.
It's gnarled and it's crooked, but it's beautiful and it's strong. It's light if you feel it. It's not heavy at all. Right?
No, it's
very
not.
Light. Yeah, so.
And how he did it for you.
Yeah, it's really important. It's a beautiful thing for me.
Yes, it is.
It's a calming influence.
So Daryl and I made an agreement. He's going to ask me questions when I ask him questions. And we're going all in. No holds bar. Because again, as he said, and I said, transition for me. And his transition when he lost his sight, almost 2 years now. So go ahead. I asked you one, so your turn.
What was the question you asked me?
Oh, did I ask you or not ask you a question?
Well, yeah,
I asked, what else do you want to do besides a comedian and the entertainment world?
Okay. Question for you. If you were to teach your children, how to appreciate and show what real love looks like, how would you tell them that?
How would I tell my children that?
What real love looks and feels like?
Them. Being a mother, carrying them for 9 months, being attentive, making sure that I was eating the proper foods to make sure they were fully nourished properly. Then when they're coming out, taking care of their every needs, but letting them stand on their own as well, but knowing that they know I got them if they ever fall, that I'm there for them.
Okay, that's beautiful, but that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, sorry. See,
Because they can't experience, the 9 months of carriage. So I'm asking, you're talking about you're going from a transition of your own personal love life, right?
Yes.
So you have two definitions. You have your yesterday, what made you married for X amount of years, to this new thing you're trying to get into. So your kids are going to go through heartbreak like you have, and vice versa. How are you going to teach them what real love is supposed to look and feel like?
Okay. Ooh. For me per se, I would tell them for me per se, and then they can figure their way out. But what I'm looking for, what I would love, a gentleman that holds open the doors, that treats me like the queen, doesn't disrespect me, but gives me the respect, as well as vice versa. Spending quality time, getting to know me for me, not asking for anything else. Sitting and reading together, or sharing moments, and just holding hands, walking us along the beach, and just spending quality time and making me a priority.
Okay.
And not share themselves with anyone else.
Oh, okay. That's still some yesterday stuff, but all right.
No, but that's today too now, because there's people that have a lot of more than one today.
All right. All right. I'm going to come back to that. Go
Okay.
ahead. You ask a question now.
Okay. Since you lost your sight, since we're on love, how has this has it changed your perspective on what you're looking for now?
Yeah, I've got 2 divorces, but I still consider both of those very successful. I wouldn't change any aspect of it. But now that I don't have a physical perspective, a visual perspective or anything, trying to find out what I'm attracted to is based on either a memory or complete energy now. And so I haven't really stepped out into that realm of being with somebody, because that involves an insane amount of trust. And I'm still learning how to be blind. And so I have to, and everybody comes to me. I have to trust every single person that comes towards me. And so when they're talking about, a woman being interested in me, I'm catching her energy first without ever knowing what she's going to look like. And so that's a lot. And it's easy to manipulate, but I don't. So I guess it's gonna take all the hustle and the silly out of it. I can't do things just casual. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You just can't be, because it's too easy to get caught. It's too easy to get caught to try to, and so I can't hide from nobody. So I don't know how open I am yet to that, because it's such an enormous thing. But I do know that, I'm like an enormous energy for love. But how that's going to manifest itself in terms of another person, I have to just trust the wisdom of the universe and see what happens.
Okay. Your turn.
For all that hand-holding and sitting there and being quiet and stuff you're talking about, what are you going to give in return for that love? What is the man? This is a question a lot of women have a hard time answering. What do you think the greatest value you can give to a man is?
His self-respect.
What if I already got self-respect?
Listening. Because sometimes, men have a hard time expressing themselves. Not all, but the majority that I have come across just in interviews and just in life. So their love language can be different than a female's love language. So as much as you want a female wants them to know them, we have to learn them too.
So that would be on your resume?
My resume for a man,
that's
for
it.
Dating.
Yeah, that's it.
Ooh,
He would say.
I haven't dated for 16 years, so
Right.
it's new for me too.
But you understand your value. Listen, so what if, okay, you be the man and I'm the woman.
Okay.
And you say, okay, what can you bring to this table for me? And I'll tell you how women should answer this question. Okay, I'm the woman now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what I can bring. I can bring to you, if you have a dream of being the greatest fisherman in Alaska, I'm coming to Alaska with you. If you have some doubts in your head, you can rest those doubts to me, and I promise you I'll be just as strong as you need me to be. I will make you a better man you've ever been before in your life. Like, I know how to do that. See how simple that is?
Mm-hmm.
It's just as simple. It's not anything other than that. That's all anybody really wants, right?
Yeah.
Unconditional love. And so it's hard for people to say that. Because, women base what they think a man wants based upon what they think men want.
But can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
In the past, that's what I did. So I left that, like you said yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
leave it, garbage
Let it
bag,
go.
let it go.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to let you know I did that.
Yeah. And why I feel bad?
Huh?
Why does it feel bad? If you did right, if you did everything
Yeah,
you did.
I did. I did everything,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So then how do you, okay, so now vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're back to the woman
Mm-hmm.
then saying, I did all that with the last one.
Mm-hmm. Do it again. I'll get hurt every day. I'm going to get hurt again. If it means I get to fall in love again, I'll do it again. I'll get hurt again because that's what it's supposed to. Why not? Why not, go all in at it for something that extraordinary?
Okay.
The good and the bad and ugly. Like, why not? I'm not scared of getting hurt again because it was worth it. My first wife, it was just too impulsive, too fast. We only knew each other for 4 months. It lasted for 4 months. And she later ended up killing herself a few years later, a couple years ago. And it hurt like hell. It still does. I'm ashamed that I got so much out of that brief relationship and she got so little out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would do it again. I would do it again because, it makes you whole when you have something to love the right way. Now, who wants to walk around half whole?
Mm-hmm. True. Okay.
So, with the success of the books and the podcast, and you're going to become very successful because your light is shining, and, when you shave those emotional legs of yours so you can get back out there, are you prepared for being so successful that you will be unapproachable because of your power and prestige, being a boss?
That's one thing I would say no. Because I want to stay humble. And if I go off track, that's not what I was pushing my purpose for, pushing my path towards. Because let me rephrase it. I see celebrities that have made it higher up. Some are still taking pictures with people, not charging them, and just sitting down listening to the stories and sharing and just staying humble. Then I see other celebrities who have made it big time, and they aura is nasty and disgusting because now their ego is so boosted that you have to get on a ladder to get to them, to try to reach their level before they talk to you.
Mm-hmm. I
do not want to be like that. I want to be able to be approachable as long as it's safe and secure. Because last night, okay, we'll talk about that later. But as long as it's secure, I'll talk.
All right.
Because they helped me get to where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to forget where I was. Because if I make it up, I want to be able to go back and help someone make it up with me.
All right. I want you to remember that because it's harder than you think. Because some days you have a headache, or need a tooth pulled, and people ain't aware that you might be going through something. and you might not physically or emotionally have the time or the right frame of mind to be in that present space of humility. And you might come across like an ass to them, but they don't know. You know that, right?
I've dealt with that already.
Yeah.
People say, I didn't know you was going through this. They're reading my books now.
Mm-hmm.
And they was like, I didn't know. You always had a smile on your face. I was like, because I'm not going to let that define my present moment right now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let that. They didn't even know I was going through a divorce.
Yeah.
They didn't know anything. They didn't know I almost died having my last child. They didn't know I was in ICU.
I was talking about a toothache. You almost dying?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, when you're not almost dying, all this stuff, it's going to be the small things. The small things will make people go off on people. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
happens.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 There's some moments where I have to catch myself up. I'm like,
Yeah.
take a, let me bring the cold back. I have the moments, but then I have to say, let me hear them.
Yeah. I understand that.
So.
Quid pro quo. You're up.
Yeah. Oh, so it's up me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Can we talk about your stone?
Okay. It's an amethyst. It's purple. This little Aquarius Puerto Rican girl named Rocio. She works here in Florida, and she gave it to me. And she kind of stepped into my vibe, and so she gave me this. And so she's incredibly much younger than I am. I didn't know what it was or how it felt or anything. And so, but she opened up a different part of me that I didn't, So I was like, oh, do I like this girl? What's going on with this feeling? And so she gave me this rock and just grounds me. It grounds me, right? And it's because, with nothing to hold on to, I'm just floating in space because there's no visual grounding. And so, so I was like, no, it can't be just, this, a feeling about this girl. But when this rock, she gave me a rock, I was like, oh, so that's what it is. So this is kind of my grounding thing to keep me from being so out of space all the time. And so now when I do interviews, when I get up and meditate in the morning, this grounds me. Okay, dude, you're still part of Earth. You're not just out in outer space all the time. Yeah. I love this little thing, though.
You should see your smile right now.
Oh yeah.
It's radiant. It's just joy.
Well, that's how I feel.
Good.
That's how I feel.
That's how we're supposed to feel.
Yeah. Would you date somebody that had a different belief system than you?
Clarify that. You have to go more deeper.
Could you date a Muslim?
Whew. No.
Because?
They would want you to change their beliefs. Change into their beliefs.
Okay, see, this is what we just said. Now, you guys do the same thing then, right? What if your love is so gigantic and you're saying, no, it can't be that gigantic because this person's belief system is different than mine?
Okay, with that, just have to give an example.
Go.
The one before, he didn't believe in anything.
Yeah.
But then, he did. But 16 years, in the beginning, he didn't. So I could. But for me, knowing that this person is a Muslim and I know their beliefs, because my cousins have converted over, I cannot be the boss I want to be because their customs are different. Women are seen and not heard. Unless my cousins have gotten that mixed up. But from watching my cousins and how they had, I could not.
So
Because I find Everybody know who I am.
Right.
And
So-
I cannot have. I'm sorry.
So you couldn't date anybody outside of your belief system?
No, I can. But
Yeah.
you said Muslim.
You said an example.
Oh.
I could have said Buddhist. I could have said atheist. I could have said anything.
If I don't lose myself, I can.
Okay.
But if you're trying to control me,
Mm-hmm.
no. I've been through that already. No.
Okay.
That, no.
What about a preacher? Good old Baptist Pentecostal preacher.
Again, as long as they do not try. Okay. I'm elegant.
I like when you do
I
that.
I know.
I
I'm
like when you do
like, because I have to. I'm elegant. I will never do anything
it. Uh-huh.
to tarnish or make the person I'm with look bad. I will always try to match their excellence. But what I'm not going to do is water myself down anymore. Dilute myself. I've done that too long.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I know my full worth and my full, no. Now, if they are okay with me still being the boss in my lane and their lane, I let them be the boss in their lane, and then we come together and still be bosses together and on one accord,
Yeah.
I'm down.
Okay. That's what's up. I'm gonna be there for that wedding.
I didn't say wedding yet. Ooh. Ooh. He's being a comedian right now. Is my go?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, what about you? If the opportunity presents itself now for you at this very moment,
Mm-hmm. What?
would you step forward and give it a try?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I've always jumped first. I always jump in there. Now that, I'm learning how to jump from this position where I'm in now, yeah, of course I would. I'm a fool for love, right? I'll always be a fool for that. So, yeah, I'm not scared of it. But I also know, what ain't gonna work right away. I just know what ain't gonna work. And so, you have to have an incredible, strong belief system, whatever it is, you have to be in that. And you have to be willing to accept, love, because I love hard. You have to be willing to accept, love and intensity and quiet and peace. And that's hard for sometimes people, I'm a giver more than a taker. And so you have to find people that are able to handle all those things, handle your strengths and your weaknesses. I'm very self-conscious because I can't clean. And so, somebody has to be understanding that. And I try to do my best, but it's just a lot of stuff I can't do. So I'm very aware of who I am, what I'm strong and weak about. So stepping in off that ledge into love, all those things have to be out there. So, we can both be as naked as possible, emotionally, spiritually, all that sort of stuff. So I'm not scared of that.
Okay. Your turn.
Okay.
I love this conversation. If you guys have any questions, definitely chime in. We'll answer them.
People can talk to you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, they type in and then I'll answer them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Will you relocate?
Done it.
Now, will you relocate in this current place in your life?
Per the divorce, with the children, do not want to move out of Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
So the week I have them, I'll be in Buffalo. But I will relocate. And then the week I don't have them, I will be wherever. Like if I have business trips like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
I love. One thing is, I don't want to be in Buffalo. If my middle son is about to graduate in a year, and where he's at in that school, that helps excel his career.
Right.
Heightens his gifts and shows him. He made lead of the play again this year. He was Sebastian of The Little Mermaid in 9th grade. He beat out seniors.
All right.
So this school I do not want to take him from. Or else, and he specifically, 16, said, I want to graduate from Williamsville. So I want to respect his wishes because my mother moved us in my junior year and didn't ask my feelings. So, yeah, I know how that feeling would be. So, no, I respect that.
All right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
But I love the heat. Lord, I love the heat. If I relocate, it cannot be cold again. No cold. Oh, there's a question. Shay, what's the question?
How do you feel about writing a book? You have so much to share.
Who is that for? Is that for me or for Daryl?
I'll find out.
And one of us will answer. See, we got a crew that's helping us with this.
Daryl.
Okay, Daryl.
I've always dreamt of it. I don't know how the process will work now. I'd have to have a ghostwriter or something like that, and I don't. I'm certain it will happen at some point, but I don't know what it looks like right now. But I appreciate you think I have a lot to offer. But yeah, I think so. I think I'm probably gonna do more speaking, and if people want to turn some of that into a book, I'll be open to that. I miss writing. You know, that's one of the things I miss the most about not being able to see is pen to paper writing. So I have to find different ways to use my brain, but eventually there'll be a book at some point.
Instead of writing, why don't you speak into the notebooks? Like the notebooks on your phone, you just, they have a lot of things now that you could use, but you just miss the pen and the paper.
The pen and paper opens up a different part of your brain, right? When you're just speaking, you're just running on memorization of the words that you already know. But sometimes when you're writing, different things pop up, you know, and that third eye, you know, opens up and things start to show up differently. And so it's just a matter of retraining my brain how to do it. As far as speaking of recorders, I always lose a recorder. And then, you know, the phone will ring and my thought gets just disconnected and it just hasn't really worked well for me. So I just keep everything in my brain now.
Oh, we're going to have to get it out of your brain. But we could be a ghostwriter. You already have people around you right now that can do that. We'll talk off the books on that.
I haven't read anybody's books.
Well, we about to change that.
Okay.
We're going to change
Are they an audiobook version?
Yeah, we could do audiobook versions and everything.
Are your books on audio version?
No, but it's about to be.
Okay. Well, let me know.
Shay and I was talking about it. Wasn't we, Shay?
Yes, ma'am.
We're reaching everybody we can reach.
Would you consider having a lesbian relationship with Shay?
No.
Okay.
And he said this lie. Lord Jesus. Shay's my sister, though.
Oh, okay.
That's my sister.
All right.
That's my sister. Shay, somebody else commented. What?
What about doing a documentary?
What about doing a documentary? That'd be a beautiful thing.
I've been approached. It takes so much. Again, you know, all the pieces have to find a place. If a production company said, "Would you do a documentary?" I would say yes. At the drop of a hat, I would do that. And so I'm open to everything. I'm open to absolutely everything. And so I would love to do it. You know, the more people I can talk about me and talk about them and talk about us, I do it. So if the opportunity presents itself, the answer is yes.
Well, it presents itself real soon.
Okay. Who's up?
Who's up? Is it my turn? I don't know. Okay, so I'll just take it.
Okay.
Can you tell the viewers what caused you to lose your sight?
I was born with really bad eyes. Something called myopic degeneration, which my eyes are like really big, and so the optic nerves and retinas are really stretched, real kind of tight. And I was always a little violent kid, always playing too rough and aggressive, so getting hit in the eye, all sort of stuff. And so they just, you know, I detached the retina in the left eye, which is pretty much, it's all the way dead now, as you can probably see. I got into a fight after my first wife and I split, got into a fight, got hit, and then didn't go to the doctor because I'm a fool ass black man back then. And it detached right and it went unrepaired, and I thought that I could, A, heal it through faith. B, I thought, this is how shallow I was at the time. I had an opportunity to be on a television show, and the surgeon, the doctor said, you need to go see a surgeon. But I didn't want to turn down a television appointment that day, so I just didn't go to the doctor so I could be on TV. I said, all right, God, I'm going to give you this eye if you give me, what I've dreamt of being. And so, in a way, he gave it to me. And so the right eye was the only eye that I've been running with since around 96 or so. And then I had a surgery to stem off some blindness. And then for 10 years, it just began to deteriorate. I grew allergic to the glaucoma medicines that I was on about 3 years ago. And then in June of 2020, I could see enough to read one text. Then I went to bed and closed my eyes, and I woke up in the morning, it was gone. And so that was it. And I was gone.
So with the eyes, were they not able to find a donor?
You can't donate a whole eye. It's too much part of the brain. You're going to donate parts of it, right?
I don't know. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, you can't do a full eye transplant because it's millions and billions of wires connect to your brain. The eye's part of the brain, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Your turn.
If your children had amnesia and didn't know who you were, and they saw the George Floyd video, how would you explain to them so they understood what all that meant and was?
If my children had amnesia.
Did not know that you were their mother, and then all of a sudden they're like, "What happened? What is all that?" How would you explain that to them?
How would I explain George Floyd?
The moment experience to them. They don't know they have your DNA, so they don't have any natural feeling of how you would feel. How would you explain that to them? Make that make sense to them?
I would tell them, unfortunately, the color of our skin makes not all, but some people not like us just because the color of our skin. I would have to go into the beginning, back to the civil rights movements, things to that nature first. I would have to break that down. And then they would say, well, this changed and now we're in 2022. Why is it still like that? Then I would go into, there's still some that do not accept us because of our color of our skin. There's some that feel they still have authority over us, where we have to still watch our backs and be careful. And it's not just happening with men, it's happening with African American women of color as well. But with George Floyd, a lot more keeps coming out about it, about the officer knowing him beforehand and had a animosity towards him before this occurred and things to that nature. I would have to break down and then just give that talk that we had to give our children talks. When you get pulled over, make sure your hand's on the dashboard. I would have to break it down seriously for them and tell them my mother lost her son, even though his mother passed. But just saying, mothers are losing their sons daily. We fear for, if we see the police pull over an African American now, we're stopping to look and make sure and videotaping to make sure that they're able to go home. So it would have to be a real long, down, deep breakdown.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot.
Because I would feel When I saw that, I put my sons right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's somebody's child. That's somebody who this all could have been avoided if somebody stood up and said, no, stop. The police officer had other people there. The other officers did not stop. Did nothing to prevent this. There's so much in the world right now that needs a change. And it's still not happening. So it will be a long, detailed conversation like we've had with our boys.
Mm-hmm.
We teach them, have your registration and insurance card where the readers are. So that way, when the police officer roll your window down, turn the car off right away, put your hands on the dashboard. So when they're walking up, your hands is right there. And then officer, license or registration, everything's right there so they can reach in. You be like, my hands are right here.
Yep.
You see they're right there on the dashboard or it's right there. You can get it.
Mm-hmm.
That way they can't say, oh, he moved. I felt threatened.
Mm-hmm.
Why does our color of our skin make you feel threatened? You pulled me over. I know you ran my license plate. I know you seen nothing, but you're still coming. We have some good officers. Not all, everybody's bad. But those rotten apples, nobody's standing up to get them out. Once people start standing up for the right, the justice, then we could maybe get unity back. But nobody's doing that. And if they are, then they're getting shut down. Then they're the bad person for standing up. So then they're being made as an example. If you speak up or if you do this, we're all going to be against you. Instead of joining in with this person saying, yes, we need to get rid of the rotten apples. But they make the ones that standing up for justice being like they're the criminal. Instead of standing up and fighting for the ones, yeah, I saw him do that. Yes, I said something. Now the target's on their back. Why is that? You know what I'm saying?
It's hard to be a leader. It's hard to be a boss. There's not a lot of leadership in the world. It's easy to lead in your house, but can you lead outside the house? You should raise people to become leaders, not just,
Mm-hmm.
paycheck gatherers. So that's ultimately everybody's afraid of losing their paycheck.
And I tell my kids, we're leaders, we're not followers. And my boys, they do stand up. If they see somebody being mistreated, they do. They stand up. And I tell them they will never be in trouble for standing up for someone who needs help. I always remember, Mommy got your back.
They still call you mama?
They call me, well, Ma. They call me Ma.
Yeah.
Or Mama.
Yeah.
But my youngest, he'll say, Mom, Mommy. When he's injured or he's stuck in something, But yeah.
Got another question. I'm jumping the line.
Okay.
Do you think there's a difference in love, the way you love your children, the way you love your parents, the way you love your husband? Is there a difference with those kind of love?
Yes.
How and why?
Because, well, not husband anymore, but husband gets a different type of sexual intimacy beyond that. Your children get the mother love. Your children get the tending to your boo-boos. Well, you do that with your husband, but you don't treat him like a baby.
Sometimes.
No. A baby when y'all sick. Oh my goodness, y'all are the worst people. Worst ones when you get sick. Oh, I'm like, have labor. Go through labor. Go through C-section. Then come talk to me.
Okay.
That's what any man. I'm serious. Any man.
Can't do all this. So just get the Vicks and rub my chest. And I saw that wine. So.
But for children, it's a different type of nurturing.
what if there isn't any difference? What if? So let's just say, you know, love is outer space, love is God, right? There's the different kinds of love, right? Whether you're husband or wife or mother, there's a kind of love. It's just love. It's supposed to be unconditional,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Right. There are different aspects of it. You know, you have the sexual thing, but that doesn't necessarily have to do with love. But love there shouldn't be any different kinds of love. It's supposed to be just a love thing, right?
You're right. But I was just categorizing, like you said, mother, husband, children. But love is unconditional.
I think sometimes we get caught up in that, you know, because, you know, I see my sisters they have so many kids, you know, and they forgive them kids for everything. But the men in their lives, you know, they ready to break their neck, and I can't be with you no more. I can't be with you no more. I go, well, how is your son running a car through a neighbor's house, and you can forgive that, or him going to jail, you can forgive that, but you become suddenly unforgiving because the man in your life did something against your moral code or something.
See, that's the thing. I could forgive once on that moral code with the man, but when you do it again, or you continuously do it, and you're not trying to change, and you're not trying to stop, that's when I get off the ship.
Okay.
And that's why I got off the ship.
Okay.
Because there's so much. A man and a woman should respect each other. A man and a woman should, if you keep doing something that's going to hurt that person, that's not showing unconditional love. That's showing you don't care nothing about them. You know what I mean?
I think I understand you.
So my thing is, when you keep coming to them and telling them what you're doing is hurting me, and you're not listening, and you're still doing it, and then tell you, oh, you'll get over it. Oh, you're in your feelings, you'll get over it. No. I'm learning to get over you. Because what I know my worth, my value, I don't deserve that. Nobody deserves that. Don't show one way in public and then behind closed doors a different way. No, homie. We don't, no. Because right now, this boss bitch, I said it, this boss bitch, no. You got to come correct. Because if I'm coming correct, you got to come correct too. See? Leader, own it.
Turn into a good student.
Anybody else comment, Shay?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So someone said, I saw Blind Ambition. When will be your next special?
Thank you. Super Bloom, I like the thing will be turned into a special later this year. Yeah, I'm certain that's going to happen later this year.
Okay. Anybody else, Shay?
No, that was the last one. We did
Okay.
the documentary. We did that's it so far.
So is my go?
Go.
Okay. Last night, you and I touched a little bit on this. I'm sitting next to you, and I'm watching the hugs, okay. With Daryl, you have to come. You have to come correct with the questions and how. Okay. You and I talked, and I know you said to me you have to trust who comes and gives you hugs in your space. Do you like that? Just them coming hugging you without your permission and touching you without your permission? I'm just being blunt with it. Do you like that?
It depends on how they're doing it. I don't like, people touching my head, rubbing my head. There's a way to touch somebody with no ill intentions. You can feel when somebody grabs you the wrong way or touch you the wrong way. So it's all based on the energy, how you put your hands on me. But I know sometimes, people really get caught up in some alcohol and then some energy, and they come across a little aggressive with the hugs and the hands and all this sort of stuff. And that's why I have to have people around me to help pull them off of me. But it's not like okra, you know what I mean? It's not like I can't stand it. It's just I try to allow people their expression as long as it's not too aggressive.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes people just, and I don't know what it is, but sometimes people just this dude was staring, I guess, and he was like, I need to be by him. I need to be by him. And so we let him come through, and he said his mother had died, and I was, listening to this dude talk, and I'm like, man, that's just hard, and he started crying, and he, put his hand on my hand. I said, all right, man, you're going to be all right. And he started holding on my hands, and so then a little too long, and then my throat clicked, and some tears went. Then he started wiping my tears and stuff, and I was like, oh my God. And it was too much. It was like, and then it became some homosexual type mess. I was like, I have to have somebody around. Eddie had to get this dude off me. And he started yelling. He wanted to bone me and stuff. And so some stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so he said, he yelled it. I'm trying to look at you. And so I was like, but again, there's literally nothing that, I can do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, except have somebody get them off of me. But a lot of times, things like that have happened on the opposite of that too, where people just, I don't know, I just need to be by you for some reason. And I made a lot of great connections with people like that. I'll tell you this quick story. I sat down, and as a cop, I know he's a cop, he's a white guy, he flinched. I could feel his energy shift. So I said, excuse me, man, I'm sorry, I can't see. So if I touch you or bump your drink, please, I apologize. He goes, don't worry about it. He's kind of hostile. So I asked Rocio, the bartender, hey, let me buy me a drink and this guy a drink, because I might have bumped him. He goes, don't worry about it. He was real hostile at first. So then people start coming over, talk to him, everything. And he goes, so you're really blind? I said, yeah. He goes, what's that like? That's why I have to trust everybody. He goes, I just couldn't do that because I'm a cop. I said, so you have to get up every day and look for things to be wrong. He goes, yeah, it's really hard. And I said, yeah. I said, well, I get up every day and I expect everything to be okay. I can't see nothing, so I assume, that there's nothing bad in front of me. And then his whole game just changed. And he says, I'm learning so much just from sitting around and talking to you about this. And he goes, I'll be honest with you, I did judge you as soon as I saw you. You're a big black guy, and now that I see that you can't see, you really do have to trust people. People are just drawn to you. He goes, you really have a big impact on my life. So I have a lot of those kind of interactions, and so I trust that that's going to happen more than some old greasy brother trying to, stick it on me. So I have to trust all of it first.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, go.
If, while your new boss showing up, grown and strong, powerful, dynamic, if yesterday man showed up and said, I've changed, can I come back? Would you give him a shot? You still there? Oh, I thought you were gone. You were so quiet, I thought you got up and left.
Because everything came flashing back. Ooh. You talking about my ex-husband.
Yeah, that's yesterday, love.
Ooh. He would have to show me. Like, no, not no fake put on. Ooh. I would have to take a time. I'd be like, flag on the play. I would have, woo. It got to the point where I was, we have to pin that one.
You're all that noise you're making. You didn't hear no, did you?
Because I have to keep the words properly because no, that time that ship is sailed, burnt, bridge, burnt, flame, flow. Whoo! No. When it went on fire, you want to know why I said no? Because when you do things to my children to get back at me, that's a no.
Yeah.
That's a no. That's a no. That bridge was lit on fire, burned down ashes, and I blew that sucker away. So that's a nice way of saying it. No.
Okay. All right.
And that's the reason why I say no. Because my kids is off limits.
Okay. You know it's gonna happen, right?
Oh, Lord, what?
That's it. You know it is going to happen.
What's going to happen?
He's gonna come back and say, "Can I try it again? I've changed myself. Look at you, being superstar, wonderful, who you are now." That's how the universe, that's how God works. Those are the ultimate tests, right?
Woo! No. I stayed too long, and you told me, and I'm gonna be frank, you told me I have to forgive myself for not leaving sooner.
Right.
I left. I ain't going back. I ain't going back to hell.
Okay.
We had some good, and I'm gonna be real, we had some good times.
Sure.
But I stayed for all the wrong reasons. I stayed to get my kids, both parents, under one roof. I stayed for all the wrong reasons. I wasn't being loved properly the way I wanted to be. I was being disrespected so much. It's all in my book. I left it in the book. It's going to stay there. I ain't open up that Pandora box no more. Hell no. That's my answer to you.
Right.
I'll be boss bitch without that.
Okay.
Kick rocks on that. No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Good.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right. That's what
You said leave it, garbage.
Yeah.
Look, I woke
Let
up
it
this
go.
morning a whole new. Shay could tell you, I was like, I feel good. I said, I feel,
Good.
Hell no.
All right.
Okay, my turn.
Yeah.
We got changed. Woo! Yeah, no. Jesus. Yeah, no, that bridge is burnt, gone. No, no. Do you have children?
I do not. I've always, my mom was, she fell in love with my father the way you fell in love with your husband, and he wanted to, he came back from Vietnam and real pretty man, and some woman talked to him that he could make some money, running women on the streets. That's what he did. He told my mother, I don't want to be in this thing, so she, took her and my two sisters and left, but she still had a hole in her heart behind him. So she was a single mom for a long time, and so that was my greatest. That's how I found out what love was, is from my mom. Like, she would come home from work, long hours and stuff, and she'd just be tired. I'd watch what she would do. I was little. I'd watch she, soak her feet in Epsom salt and stuff, and just sit there on the couch and just be tired. And I'd just sit there and stare at her. One time she danced with me, slow dance, Natural Woman, and so that's the first time I fell in love with something. And so after that, she'd come home and I'd put Epsom salt. I'd run the Epsom salt. I tried to do everything I could. So I, in essence, learned how to love from wanting to take care of my mom when I was a little boy, because she was so brokenhearted. So then I started, I always wanted to be that. So I just loved single mom. It's such a hard thing to be a single mom, and so it's heroic for a dude to step in there. So that's what I want to do. So Jill was my first wife, and she had kids. My first ever girlfriend was 17 years older than me in college. She had kids. So that's what I knew how to do. I was immature in every other aspect, but I knew how to love a single mom and her kids. So I always thought I'd be an incredible father. And so then I stopped dating single moms, because a lot of times, single moms don't know how to let them be first, because they're so used to putting the kids first. And so, and then I fell in love, and then, I just became, if they had wanted to have a child, I would have been very good. But Claire didn't, and so I was okay. We were both really chasing our career. So I always thought I would have been a great father, but I never had kids. I have 31 to 32 nieces and nephews. I love them to death, but no.
So you're the favorite uncle?
I'm the only uncle,
Okay.
Mm-hmm. If you wait, could you date outside your race?
Now? Yeah.
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 Chinese.
As long as I am treated like the queen I should be.
You could date a little Chinese dude.
Little. What you mean little?
Little.
I'm short as it is.
Okay, so
You gotta have a little height to you.
how about an eye-to-eye Chinese man? You could date a little eye-to-eye Chinese man? Same height as you?
Here's the thing. It's what your heart shows.
Okay.
It's what your heart shows. It's how you treat me. If I'm treating you properly, it's how you treat me.
Why are you so confident how you treat everybody is the real thing? The real McCoy?
Okay. You know how you said you love hard, you're a
Yes.
lover, and you're a giver?
Mm-hmm.
That's me. I give the shirt off my back if someone is in need.
Mm-hmm.
Just treat me the same.
All right. What you gonna make the Chinese man for your first romantic dinner?
Well, see, by that time, if I'm making dinner, I already know what he likes.
Right.
So then I would, if I didn't know how to cook it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm there going to go look, research it. And then I'll learn a few times and make sure, and I'll use other people as test subjects to taste it out. Like, does this taste right? Is this how it's done? Then I'll be like, okay, let me cook you dinner. I'm serious, because I cook.
Okay.
But if it's a different origin, I'm going, well, I have to do my research. Because I know how to cook Italian, Southern, Jamaican, you know. But now, when you talk about Chinese food, yeah, that I would have to do research because I ain't going that way yet. So I.
Okay.
What about you?
Me what? Could I date outside of my race?
Yeah.
I certainly have before. Now that there isn't really any color, it's all cultural.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I could. I
Okay.
would. Of course, I could. I would. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know. It's hard. It's weird not to be able to judge somebody physically anymore. You just don't know what to. Just don't know what to do or expect anything. So. All right, how many more? Because
Any other questions?
My throat's starting to get hard.
Yes. Okay, Super Bloom. I love it. I feel like I know you better from that album. So it's not a question, just pretty much a comment.
Oh, well, thank you.
All right.
I'm really proud of that thing.
Well, tell them how to find you.
I believe you can find me either through my website, daryllennox.com. You can check my startup company, ellisonrains.com. And then on all the social media, I don't know what all those handles are. I think you just Google my name and that stuff shows up. But this has been really, really cool. It's different. I want to do something different with you.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing so many interviews and sometimes it's exhausting just talking about myself and answering the same questions about, the same things over and over again. But I caught a vibe with you. I really I knew you needed to, balance. You need to share stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was good. I like to do this again.
I do. Hey, we will do this again.
Okay.
We will.
All right.
And on top of that, I love your vibe too. That's why I was like, let's go. But I love it. I love the interaction. I love our communication. Yesterday, our conversations and your questions and sharp shooting and things to that nature. So I'm happy you have taken the time out to sit with us and to sit with me.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, well, you guys heard it here. We're going to share this on all platforms and everything else. Again, Super Bloom. Right?
Super Bloom.
Super Bloom.
Yeah.
Super Bloom. And my 2 books are out now, Looking In from the Outside and In God's Hands on Amazon. And Super Bloom's on all platforms.
All platforms.
All platforms. Go ahead. Let's see them numbers rise.
And my birthday's January 28th, so shoot me a happy birthday shout out.
All right. Well, you guys have a great day. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.
Seeing all these people, knowing how.
JD in the building.
JD.
What up? What up? What up? What's going on, y'all?
Hey,
live, baby.
Live, baby. It's Hip Hop Friday. Hip Hop Friday.
Oh.
I have no other but Paris Smith from EPMD.
Hip hop royalty.
That's a haymaker.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Culture Corner is back, baby. What's going on, dog? Back like the first time.
it's been good. Left you without a dope pod to step through.
It's your girl Sunshine here tonight. This is exclusive. This is big. Tonight it's about our fraternity.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Speak.
Live
from DC. What's up?